Good morning once again. I welcome you all in another session of the power system analysis, wherein we will be discussing about symmetrical components. In this today's lecture, we are going to discuss about symmetrical components and the circuits for the transmission line and also for the transformers. We know that there are different the transmission lines are being categorized into different into three forms, that is the short, medium, and long, depending on the length of the transmission line. And also the transformers are being classified or based on the configurations, that is star star, star delta, delta star, and delta delta connections of the windings. So we will see one by one the symmetrical circuits for the different transformers and the transmission lines. Now, in this section, in the sequence circuits of the transmission lines, the schematic diagram is been shown to you, wherein the three phases with the ground, or we can say the three phases with the neutral, is being shown to you, neutral wire, with the self impedances of ZAA, ZBB, and ZCC. For the ease of analysis, we are assuming that all the phases are having the same self impedances and they all are equal. Now, we are also assuming the transmission line to be symmetric, and due to which we are also assuming that the mutual inductance of the between the lines, between the conductors, are also same, and are so the mutual inductance between the conductors and the neutral. That is, the mutual impedance between the Z, between the phase A and Z, between the phase A and phase B, that is the ZAB, which will be equal to the mutual impedance between the ZBC and mutual impedance ZCA. They all are the same. And the directions of the current flowing through the lines are indicated in this figure, and the voltages between the different conductors are also indicated. The ZAN equal to ZBN and ZCN. The neutral impedances are also being considered with the neutral equal. Now, if you apply the Kirchhoff's law, then we will get that VAN will be equal to VAA dash plus VA dash N dash plus VN N dash, which is equal to nothing but VAA dash plus VA dash N dash minus VN N dash. Now, again, if we rewrite this equation, I can identify that VAA dash is equal to ZAA IA plus ZAB IB plus IC and ZAN into IN. We have nothing applied, but we have applied the KVL for the VAA dash. Then similarly, I can write it for the VNN dash, that will be equal to ZNN IA plus ZAN into IA plus IB plus IC. Now we substitute the 7.42 and 7.43 in equation number 7.41. We will get that the neutral voltage, that is the VAN minus the VA dash N dash, is equal to nothing but Z, the difference between the impedances of self impedance and the neutral impedance with individual currents in the phases. Now, since the neutral provides a written path for the current IA, IB, IC, three phase currents, then we can rewrite this equation that IN is nothing but it is equal to minus IA plus IB plus IC. So now we will substitute the 7.45 and we will get that VAN minus A dash N dash will be nothing but ZAA plus ZNN minus 2ZAN with the current of phase A, IA, and ZAB ZNN minus 2ZN with the current IB and IC. Now, if we denote that the first term, now if we denote, now let me show you. Now if we denote this first term as ZS, that is the self one, because we all are having the all the terms are except this one, we are having the self impedances, and this is nothing but the mutual impedances. So if I write this ZS equal to ZA plus Zn minus 2 ZAN, and this is Zm as a mutual one, then if we substitute this one, then I will get it in the equation number 7.47 to make it more simpler. But there is one thing, that the equation number 7.47 does not include the neutral conductor. So we can define the voltage drop across the phase A as like VAA dash minus VAN minus VA dash N dash. Now combining the 4.7 for 7.47 and 7.48, we will get VAA dash is equal to ZS into IA plus Zm into IB plus IC. Now this equation can be clearly seen that the self voltage, that is the voltage between the, for phase A, that is for the two ports of A and A dash for the phase A, we are getting it as ZS, which is a self impedance in with the neutral as well, and IA plus mutual impedance with IB and IC for the other two phases. Now when we write the equation, similar equations for the other two phases as well, I can rewrite them as it's shown in the equation number 7.50. With this equation, can be seen that this is the matrix form. This is shown in the matrix form, where the diagonal elements are the self impedances and the off diagonal elements are nothing but they are the mutual impedances. And I can easily rewrite all the phase equations, equations into this form, into the matrix forms for ease. Now if you multiply this with the transformation matrix C, definitely I can convert the phase values into the symmetrical components, and or vice versa, symmetrical component into the phase values, original values. So if I will be having the knowledge of any of the two, either a phase value, original values, or the symmetrical components, then definitely I can get it be transformed into the another one using the transformation matrix C. I hope this is clear to you. There is no problem in this. Again, I will give you the brief one. First of all, what we have done, we have assumed that all the phase impedances, self impedances are equal. We have assumed the line to be symmetrical. That's why the mutual impedances are also of the conductor are also equal inductances, and the neutral is mutual inductances between the conductor and the neutral is also equal. So this is a lumped parameters representation for a symmetrical transmission line, and this is the final one which we have derived. Now moving further, if I multiply this equations and I resolve it, I will be getting it as that VAA dash 0, VAA dash 1, and VAA dash 2. These are the 0, positive, and negative sequence components for the A phase. So when I resolve this matrix, I will be getting it ZS plus 2 Zm, ZS minus Zm, ZS minus Zm, and rest of all the off diagonal elements will be 0. You can see over here, all the all the off diagonal elements will become 0, and only the diagonal elements will be existing. So if I rewrite and these equations and I find out the 0 sequence, positive sequence, and negative sequence components for a transmission line network, then I can write this equation like this. Now Z1 equal to Z2 equal to Zs minus Zm. That is the positive. This is a positive and this is the negative. The positive and negative impedances for the transmission line are same. That is Zs minus Zm. Whereas the zero sequence component for the transmission line is different. It is Zs plus twice of the mutual impedance. But this is Zm is nothing, but it is this one. ZAB plus ZNN minus 2ZAN. So I can write it from these equations. I can create a sequence circuits for the symmetrical transmission lines. The first is this is a positive sequence in which we are having only the Z1 that is equal to ZAA minus ZAB, which is equal to Zs minus Zm. This is a VAN1 positive voltage, positive sequence symmetrical voltage for this A to neutral, phase A to neutral, and this is another port for the port 2. Similarly, for the negative sequence, we are having VAN2 and VA-N-2 for the second port of the sequence network, of the sequence circuit. Now, in this is a zero sequence circuit. I think something is missing, that it should be Z2. Let me recorrect. This will be the Z2 and this will be the Z0. Okay, IA0, IA2 and IA1 are nothing but the zero sequence current, positive sequence current and negative sequence current for the phase A. I hope this is clear to you. Now, how to draw the, if you have been asked to draw the sequence circuits for the transmission line, then you have to just keep all the symmetrical components in series as shown in this diagram, that is for the positive, negative and zero sequence sequence circuits. Whereas wherein the Z1 and Z2 are same, that is your Zs minus Zm, which is the positive and negative sequence components. Apart from this, Z0 will be different, that will be equal to Zs plus 2Zm. I think this is clear to you. Now let's move further towards the sequence circuits for the transformer. Now we know that mostly we are having the sequence circuits for transformers into the three configurations, that is the star star, delta delta and star delta. Obviously there is one more configuration, that is the star delta star, but that is almost same with the star delta. We just need to switch reverse. So basically in this section we shall discuss the sequence circuits of the transformers. As we have seen earlier that the sequence circuits are different for star and delta connected load in the previous lecture. The sequence circuits are also different for star and delta connected transformers. So we shall treat different transformers connections separately. We cannot merge them with the star and delta. Now first, looking at the star-star connected transformer, we will see, look at this diagram in this, a schematic diagram of ground connect neutral star-star connected. The star-star are having the grounded neutral with an impedance of Zn. The currents IA, IB and IC are shown to you with the dot conventions for both the windings, for the primary and for the secondary windings. The turn ratio is been defined with N1 is to N2, where N1 is the number of turns for the primary side and N2 is the number of turns for the secondary side. The turns ratio is been assumed to be alpha, which is equal to N1 is to N2. Now, from this figure, we can see that the phase A, the primary side, the voltages would be like VA is equal to VAN plus VN. That is, VA is equal to what? VAN plus VN. That is from ground to neutral. If you move from this port to this port, we can see it is coming to VAN plus of VN. Now, which is equal to nothing but VN would be equal to 3 times of Zn into IA0. As we have seen in the previous lecture, that a neutral will be having 3 times the zero sequence component of the current. Now, expanding the VA and VAN in terms of their positive, negative, and zero sequence components, the above equation can be written as VA0 plus VA1 plus VA2. That means I have segregated the VA and VA component into the positive, negative, and zero sequence components. And similarly, I will write it for the VAN as VAN0 plus VAN1 plus VAN2 plus 3Zn into IA0. Now, the direction of the neutral to the current IN is opposite to that of the IN. Yes, obviously, look at this diagram. The direction of the I capital N is from neutral to ground, whereas from direction of I small subscript n is from ground to neutral. So we cannot write it like this way. So this 7.53 can be written as for the secondary side as minus 3Zn into I0. All the remaining terms will be similar, quite similar, but the direction of this current is been opposite. That's why this negative sign is coming over here. Now we have assumed that the turns ratio was alpha, which is equal to N1 upon N2, which can be rewritten as VAN upon VAN for the secondary side. Now, if we find out the VAN for this, that it will be VN upon alpha. Now, substituting this in the 7.54, we will get that the positive, negative, and zero sequence, sum of the positive, negative, and zero sequence components of the voltages for phase A will be equal to 1 upon alpha with the sum of VA positive, negative, and zero sequence components for the phase A to neutral voltages minus 3Zn into alpha into I0. Now, if you multiply both the sides of our quantity, it will result that it will be A alpha into this plus alpha square would come over here. And finally, combining this equation with this primary side, equation, I will be getting that alpha times of this sum of the positive, negative, and zero sequence components for is A will be equal to the sum of the positive, negative, zero sequence component for the secondary side for phase A minus 3Zn plus Zn alpha square into I0. Now, if I take this separating the positive, negative sequence, I can rewrite this equation as alpha VA1 for the positive side, that is your alpha VA1 will be equal to, that is N1 upon N2 into VA1, which is equal to capital VA1, that is for the primary side voltage positive sequence. Now, substitute separating the positive, negative sequence components, we can rewrite this equation like this: alpha VA1, alpha VA2, and alpha VA0. That is, your positive sequence component is coming to be VA1 for the primary with the alpha, and VA2, or we can say the primary side negative sequence component voltage for phase A is equal to the alpha times of secondary side voltage, negative sequence secondary side voltage. Similarly, I can take it from the zero sequence circuit. Now, from this 7.57 and 7.58, I can redraw the circuits. We can see that the positive and negative sequence relations are same as that of we have used for the representing the transformer circuits in the figure 1.18 in the starting of the lectures. Now, hence the positive negative sequence impedances are same. The leakage impedance is equal as same as that of the leakage impedances, that is Z. The sequence circuits zero sequence circuit will be is shown to you. That is, your IA naught will be equal to Z plus 3Zn. This is your VA naught. This is a zero sequence circuit. We are only talking about the zero sequence circuit. Now, if the total sequence of the impedance is being given to Z plus 3Zn plus 3 and ratio square of the ratio of the turn into the Zn. Basically, what we are having, we have taken this. This is the referred value from the secondary side. This is the impedance of the neutral for the secondary side. So we have referred this neutral impedance to the primary side. That's what the equivalent circuit. So the zero sequence diagram for the grounding neutral, that is a star-star connected transformer, is shown to you, in which the Z naught is given as in equation number 7.60. This is your Z naught. You can say this complete is your Z naught. So if I redraw the circuit, the zero sequence diagram, exact zero sequence diagram for this, it would be like this. A with a grounded neutral. This is for the grounded neutral. This is for the grounded neutral. For the star-star only. We do not. This is not for the any configuration, but this is only for the star-star connected transformers. For the star-star connected, this is only for the grounded neutral. Yes, if the grounds are not neutral. For an example, if we assume that the secondary side is not neutral, that is, your secondary side is not neutral, it is Zn is equal to infinity, or Zn is also infinity, or both. Then what will happen? Then this will be 1. That is your ungrounded neutral star-star connected transformers. Are you getting this? That means this is the case for the secondary side is ungrounded and the primary side is grounded. The primary side is grounded, whereas the secondary side is not grounded, ungrounded. And if both the cases, both the primary and secondary side also are not grounded, then what will happen? Then this will also be open circuited. Then this will also be open circuited, like this one, like the secondary one. The primary side will also be open circuited. I hope this is clear to you. Now let's see for the delta-delta connected transformers. For delta-delta connected transformers, we can see that VAB is equal to VA minus VB. If we are rewrite down the phase to phase voltage, that is the VA, then VA minus VB, that I can rewrite this equation for the, I will be defining the VA phase into the positive, negative and zero sequence components apart, along with the phase B positive, negative, zero sequence components. So I can see that the VAB1 plus VAB2, where VAB is equal to N1 upon N2, which is the turns ratio, and VAB is the secondary side voltage between the phase A and phase B, which is equal to alpha times of VAB. Now, when I substitute this one, when I just substituted this VAB is equal to what? VAB1 plus VAB2. It is equal to alpha times of VAB1 plus VAB2. Now, the sequence components for the line-to-line voltage, that is the VAB, can be written in terms of sequence components of the line-to-neutral voltage as this way. VAB1 is equal to root 3 times of VAA1 with the phase angle of difference of 30 degree. Now, when we are moving from the phase neutral to phase, that obviously give me a phase shift of 30 degree. Similarly, I can write it for the negative sequence component for the phase AB. That will be equal to root 3 VAN to root 3 and VAN2 and at an angle of minus 30 degree. Now, if you combine the 7.62 and 7.64, you can see that is VAB1 plus VAB2 will give me alpha times of root 3 VAN1 angle 30 degree plus root 3 VAN angle minus 30 degree. Therefore, we will get that VAN1 for the positive side sequence component for the phase to neutral will be equal to alpha times of positive sequence component voltage for phase to neutral for secondary side. Similarly, I can write it for the equation for primary and secondary voltages for the negative sequence components for phase to neutral voltage, as shown in the equation number 7.66. Just write down these equations. Now, from the previous analysis, I can say that for a zero sequence circuit, in delta-delta connected transformers, the zero sequence circuit IA0 equal to IA0 equal to 0. There is no zero sequence path for the transformer. Therefore, the zero sequence current can sometimes circulate with the windings, delta windings, and we can redraw the zero sequence circuit as shown in the figure 7.14 for a delta-delta connected transformer. That means when the delta is there, we will be having a short between the phase and the neutral, a short between both the primary and secondary sides. So in this way, basically, we define the delta-delta connected transformer. Now, moving further, if I talk about the star-delta connected transformers, that it would be a mixture of both the star-star and star-delta. I've told you whenever there is a ground, then only the continuity from the phase to the impedance of the positive, negative, or zero sequence impedances would be there. Otherwise, if there is no grounded at the star side, then it will be a open circuit for them. Whereas if it is a delta, then it would be a short between the phase and the neutral. Now look at this. In this schematic diagram, we can see a star-delta connected transformer, which has been assumed that the star connected side is grounded with the impedance of Zn, and the secondary has been connected into the delta configuration. Now, since for the zero sequence circuit in the line, the zero sequence in the primary side has to be grounded. So if we have the IA0 is equal to 0 for the secondary side. This is for the secondary side, not for the primary. So if the circulating current, zero sequence current in the delta winding magnetically balance the zero sequence current on the primary winding. It will magnetically balance it. So if I assume that VAN is equal to alpha times of VAB and VA is equal to VAN plus VN, then I can rewrite this equation as VA0 plus VA1 plus VA2 is equal to VAN0 plus VAN1 plus VAN2 plus 3Zn into IA0. Now, from this equation number 7.67, I can say that the sum of the positive negative sequence component for phase A at the primary side will be equal to alpha times of positive negative sequence components, positive negative zero sequence components of phase A for secondary side plus the impedance or the voltage drop across the neutral, which is equal to 3Zn into IA0. Now, if we separate it as we have done in the previous configuration, I will be getting the positive negative sequence components for the phase A for primary side. Now, from this equation, from equation number 7.68, it is clearly seen that the zero sequence component for the phase A would be 0. There is no, it will be equal to 0 because IA0 equal to 0 in the primary side. So therefore, only the positive and the negative sequence components will be existing in this, which will be given by the root 3 alpha VA1 with an angle of 30 degree and root 3 alpha VA2 for an angle of minus 30 degree for phase for positive and negative sequence components for phase A for the primary side respectively. Now look at this. The positive sequence. Now let's draw the sequence circuits. Now this is the sequence circuit for the positive sequence, and this is for the negative sequence. Now look at this previous equation. The positive sequence circuit as shown in 7.16a, the negative sequence circuit is same for that of the positive sequence except that the phase shift in the induced EMF. Except the phase shift in the induced EMF. Look at this. There is a plus 30-degree phase shift, and here it is minus 30-degree phase shift. So the zero sequence circuit has been shown to you in this C, that is Z0 equal to Z plus 3Zn for a star delta configuration. And the primary and secondary sides are not connected. Hence, there is an open circuit between them. And however, since the zero sequence current flows through the primary winding, a return path is provided through the ground. There is a return path. Otherwise, it is a ground. It is open circuited. If the neutral of the primary side is not grounded, if the neutral of the primary side is also not grounded, that means if this neutral is not grounded, it is open, then this will be the circuit for this zero sequence ungrounded star connection. I hope this is clear to you. Now let's see the MCQ for these. The very first question is, for measuring the positive, negative and zero sequence voltages in a system, the reference is taken as, what should be the reference should be taken? Either its first option is given, that is the neutral of the system only, ground only, for zero sequence neutral and positive, and negative the ground, and none of the above. The correct answer is none of the above. The reference cannot be taken only the neutral of the system. It cannot be taken as the ground of the system. For zero sequence and positive, negative, the ground, it cannot be like this. And for measuring the positive, negative, zero sequence voltages in the system, the reference is taken as. The reference has been taken as based on that the node selection. That which node is been selected. Now the next is the system is said to be effectively grounded if its neutral is grounded, the ratio of the positive 0 to positive component is greater than 3, the ratio of R0 by X1 is greater than 2, or the ratio of X0 by X1 is less than 3. The correct option is the option D, that is your ratio of X0 by X1 should be less than 3. The next question is, for complete protection of a three-phase line, a three-phase and three-phase earth relays are required. Three-phase and two earth phase relays are required. Two-phase and two earth phase relays are required. Two-phase and one earth phase relays are required. Now, for the complete protection of three-phase, we require at least two phases and one earth relay is to be required for the protection. It is not necessary that the three phases and three earth fault relays are always required. No, we can have it, but that will create a more complex structure and will increase the cost of the system for the protection. So the option A could not be possible. The option B says that the three phase and two earth fault relays are required. Yes, we can have the three phase and two earth fault relays, but still the same thing is that it will increase the cost. We are not required. We can protect the system even with the two phase and one earth fault relays. For question number 4 is, the per unit impedance of the circuit element is 0.15. the base voltage and the base MVA are half, then the new value as per the unit of the circuit element will be. Now, this question is very important and is been asked many times in competitive exams also, that if the base MVA and base kV are half, then what would be the new per unit impedances? So the formula is already known to you for the new per unit values, finding out the new per unit values of the impedance, and based on that we can calculate it as 0.3 as the new per unit. You do the calculation, and then in later we will discuss it out. First you try to solve it out. Next is, for a star delta transformer with the star side grounded and zero sequence current would be what? I've told you just now in this lecture that for a star delta transformers, the star is grounded, the side is grounded. The zero sequence current would be what? Yes, definitely it will exist in the lines on the Y side only. It will not be lies on the delta side, because there is no path in the delta. It will be just circulating and will magnetically balanced. But in the star side, it will be existing in the lines. So the option C is the correct answer. Now, I just want to discuss one more thing in this question, that the star delta transformer. Now, for an example, if it is a delta star transformer with the secondary side is grounded, then what will happen? Then obviously the zero sequence circuit will exist, but in the secondary side, not in the primary side. In the secondary side where the star was connected. And even if the star is not grounded, then the zero sequence circuits will not be short circuit and the neutral impedance will be zero. But it should be necessary that the star should be grounded one. The next question is, the zero sequence circuit currents can flow from line to into the transformer bank if the windings are in. Yes, this is important question. The zero sequence current can flow from line into the transformer bank if the windings are. The windings are ground, star, and delta. It will not flow in the delta star configuration. It will not flow star grounded star configuration, neither in the delta configuration. It will only flow in the grounded star with the delta configuration. Question number 7 and 8. Question number 7 says, if in an unbalanced three-phase system, the currents are measured as phase current IA is equal to 0, IB has been given as 6 with an angle of 60 degree amperes, IC has been given as the same magnitude with the 6, but the phase angle is of minus 120 degree amperes. The zero sequence, positive sequence, and negative sequence component would be, I know, I told you that how to find out the positive. You have the original values of the phase values. You have the original phase values of the current. By applying the transformation matrix, we can identify the zeros, positive and negative sequence components for the currents. So when you calculate it using the transformation matrix, you will get the correct option as a C. That is, your zero would be zero. That is, the zero sequence component would be zero. Okay. Why? In a transformer, the zero sequence current is IA naught is equal to IA. It would be zero when you substitute it. And similarly, when you calculate the IB and IC, you will get that minus 9 plus J root 3 and 9 minus J 3 root 3. Okay. In the zero sequence current, the positive and negative, the A, B and C phases will be cancelling out each other. Because in this, we will not be having any of this alpha operator in operating with this. So there will be no rotation in the phases. Since the magnitudes are same, but the phase difference is there. So there will be no rotation and it will be cancelling out. Now the question number 8, the impedance per unit per phase of a three-phase transmission line on a base of 100 MVA 100 kV is 2 per unit. The impedance has been given for a three-phase transformer transmission line. The base MVA is 100 MVA and base kV is 100 kV, and which is giving the impedance as 2 per unit. And you have been asked to find out the new impedance for the new bases, that is for the 400 MVA and 400 kV. Then obviously the answer would be 0.5 unit. You have to apply again the same formula for calculating the new impedance. Okay, for calculating the new per unit values, as we have discussed in the previous lecture. Now 9th and 10th question says that if the positive negative zero sequence reactances of an element of our system are 0.3, 0.3 and 0.8 respectively, the reactances are given, that is x1, x2, x0 are given. x1 is equal to 0.3, x2 is equal to 0.3 and x0 is equal to 0.8. Then you have to identify whether the element is synchronous generator, synchronous motor, transmission line or static load. I've told you, look at this again. Look at this. The Z1 and Z2 are same and the Z0 is different. Z1 and Z2 are same and Z0 is different. And in this question also the Z1 and Z2 are given. They are same, that is 0.3. So if we calculate it, if you see, look at the values, the 0.3 and 0.3 are same. That means it is a transmission line, but the Z0 is different, that is 0.8. And we know that the positive and the negative sequence impedances for the transmission line are Zs minus Zm. And for the zero sequence component, it is Zs plus 2Zm. Is this clear? Now the 10th question. 10th question says that if the 500 MVA 11 kV three-phase generator at 50 Hz feeds through a transfer impedance of 0.00 plus J0.605 ohm per phase. That is the per phase value is given. The per phase impedance value is given for a three-phase generator. Then an infinite bus also at 11 kV, the maximum steady state power transfer of the base of this would be what? The impedance is given, the base MVA and the base kV is given. You have to find out the maximum steady state power. The maximum steady state power has been defined by X V upon total impedance. In per unit, if you want to find out in the per unit, you have to convert first of all these values in the per unit. You have to convert this impedance in the per unit impedance, and then per unit reactance. Then you have to calculate it, and it is equal to maximum steady state power equal to P max. P max will be equal to what? V upon Z per unit. That will, if I assume the per level V as a excitation voltage is 1 per unit, and if I calculate it, I will be getting an option of 0.4. That is the maximum power. Let me see that 1 upon 0.41. It is approximately coming to the 4.2 something. Okay, so that's why it is the reactance would be coming per unit reactance would be 4 point something per unit. So if you calculate it, the power would be 0.4 per unit. Okay, so that's all for the today's lecture. I hope you have understood the concept of symmetrical components and symmetrical circuits for the transmission line and for the different configurations of the three-phase transformers, that is the star star, star delta, and delta delta connected loads. I wish you best of luck. Thank you so much.